Imagine a world where your happiness isn't swayed by the judgments of others. Picture waking up each morning with a sense of peace so deep, so unwavering, that no external opinions or influences can shake it. For many of us, this might feel like a distant dream, a place only found in moments of quiet solitude or rare times of joy. But what if this inner tranquility could be an everyday reality? What if there was a way to truly unlock a life free from worry over others' opinions and driven instead by your own values and sense of purpose? In this video, we're going to journey through 10 transformative Buddhist teachings that can empower you to reclaim control over your life. From finding true happiness within to embracing solitude for personal growth. These principles offer a roadmap to a life of unbreakable inner peace. They provide powerful insights on how to navigate life without constantly looking for validation from others, and instead, finding approval from within. As we dive deeper into each principle, consider how these teachings might apply to your life, your goals, and even your daily interactions. Could embracing these Buddhist insights lead you to a deeper fulfillment? One that no external praise or criticism can take away. Let's embark on this journey together to explore the wisdom within Buddhism that guides us toward a life of freedom, peace, and true contentment. True happiness comes from within. True happiness is an idea so fundamental yet often misunderstood, especially in the Western world, where success and validation are frequently tied to external achievements. But as Buddhist philosophy asserts, happiness is an internal experience. It's not found in wealth, status, or others' approval, but in our ability to connect with ourselves and find peace within. This philosophy suggests that true happiness is less about what we accumulate and more about who we are. Let's explore this idea, supported by examples of well-known public figures who've embraced this inner journey. Understanding happiness from within. Happiness from within is the sense of fulfillment and contentment that doesn't rely on external factors. It's the feeling that remains constant, regardless of our achievements, social circle, or material wealth. While society often teaches us that happiness can be bought or that it's something we achieve when we win at life, Buddhist teachings guide us to realize that true happiness is not transactional. It can't be gained, lost, or taken away by others. When we turn inward to find joy, we're essentially cultivating resilience against life's inevitable challenges. This self-contained happiness empowers us to stay grounded, maintain balance, and approach life with a calm heart, even when things aren't going as planned. The power of inner happiness in challenging times. One of the greatest benefits of cultivating inner happiness is its resilience. When happiness is rooted within, it doesn't waver under external stress or hardship. It allows us to face challenges with calm and optimism, rather than being controlled by them. Consider Nelson Mandela, whose imprisonment for 27 years could have left him embittered. Instead, he chose to find peace within, focusing on forgiveness, compassion, and his vision for a unified South Africa. Mandela's commitment to these values sustained him through unimaginable hardship and ultimately helped him to change his nation. His journey serves as a powerful example of how internal happiness can endure, even in the harshest conditions. Rather than seeking external sources of happiness, Mandela turned inward and found peace within himself, sustaining him through nearly 3 decades of imprisonment. Mandela's story is a reminder that happiness isn't something we attain when conditions are perfect, it's something we cultivate within ourselves, allowing us to carry it through life's storms. The example of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, the late co-founder of Apple Incorporated, was a figure who sought both external success and deeper internal peace. Though Jobs achieved monumental success by building one of the world's most valuable companies, he ultimately realized that material success didn't equate to happiness. In his final days, he reflected on the importance of love, relationships, and self-understanding over the riches he amassed. Jobs, who practiced Zen Buddhism, often spoke of his admiration for simplicity and mindfulness, and toward the end of his life, He expressed that these inner values brought him more peace than any technological triumph ever could. This shift in perspective underscores that even at the highest echelons of success, internal happiness remains paramount. Jobs' journey highlights a truth we often ignore, that our accomplishments or the wealth we amass won't necessarily lead us to happiness. Rather, as he found, focusing on simplicity, presence, and love is what makes life fulfilling. Why external validation is fleeting. Many people pursue happiness in the form of others' approval or societal status. While recognition can feel gratifying in the short term, it's an unreliable foundation for lasting joy. External validation is, by nature, impermanent. It depends on circumstances outside our control. Relying on others to confirm our worth is a sure way to remain at the mercy of shifting opinions and trends. A striking example of the limits of external validation is Oprah Winfrey's journey. Known worldwide for her achievements as a media mogul, Oprah has been open about the emotional challenges she faced early in her career when she relied on others' opinions for her self-worth. She describes the realization that approval from others would never be enough, no matter how much success she achieved. Oprah has since focused on self-acceptance and cultivating gratitude, stressing that her joy now comes from her own sense of purpose and well-being, not from public opinion. Building a practice for inner happiness. To cultivate happiness from within, consider practices that promote self-awareness, gratitude, and acceptance. Mindfulness meditation. Regular meditation helps quiet the mind, enabling us to observe our thoughts and emotions without attachment. This simple practice brings us into the present moment, where true contentment resides. Research shows that people who meditate regularly experience lower stress levels and report greater well-being. Self-reflection and gratitude. Taking time daily to reflect on what you're grateful for promotes a mindset of abundance, which naturally fosters happiness. Many influential figures, like Arianna Huffington, have discussed the positive impact of gratitude practices on their lives, helping them focus less on material accomplishments and more on personal fulfillment. Letting go of comparisons. Comparing ourselves to others creates a false narrative that our lives are lacking. Instead, focus on your unique journey and achievements. Comparisons often lead to feelings of inadequacy and disappointment. So releasing this habit allows you to appreciate your progress, no matter how small. Embracing simplicity. True happiness often comes from appreciating simple pleasures, moments with loved ones, time in nature, or enjoying a favorite hobby. By simplifying our desires and cultivating gratitude for what we already have, we create a stronger foundation for lasting joy. Conclusion. Why true happiness is an inner journey. As exemplified by Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, and Nelson Mandela. Even those who achieve the highest levels of success realize that happiness isn't found in wealth, fame, or external validation. True happiness is cultivated within. It's a choice to focus on our inner lives, develop self-awareness, and appreciate the present. Embracing this philosophy may be one of the most liberating shifts in perspective we can make. When we let go of the pursuit of external happiness and focus on finding peace within, we gain a source of strength that isn't tied to anyone or anything outside ourselves. As we practice gratitude, mindfulness, and self-acceptance, we cultivate a sense of joy that remains unshaken by life's ups and downs, offering us a richer, more meaningful experience of life. Embracing solitude for personal growth. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, solitude is often misunderstood as loneliness, which carries a negative connotation. However, solitude, when chosen and embraced, is far from a state of deprivation. It is a powerful and enriching space that can foster personal growth, clarity, and self-understanding. Embracing solitude allows us to step back from external influences, reflect deeply, and ultimately become more grounded individuals. This practice of intentionally spending time alone has been a secret behind the success and self-actualization of many prominent figures. demonstrating that solitude is not only a path to personal growth but also to profound insight and resilience. The power of solitude. Solitude is, at its core, a space where we can confront ourselves without the distractions of daily life, technology, or social interactions. It provides an opportunity to listen to our own thoughts, values, and aspirations without the influence of others. This can lead to greater self-awareness, a stronger sense of direction, and a heightened ability to think independently. Consider the life of Nelson Mandela. During his 27 years of imprisonment, much of which he spent in solitary confinement, Mandela had ample time for reflection. This solitude allowed him to confront his fears, examine his principles, and clarify his vision for a liberated South Africa. Instead of succumbing to despair, Mandela emerged from prison with a sense of inner strength and a commitment to reconciliation, qualities that proved instrumental in transforming his country. Mandela's story underscores the idea that solitude can lead to immense growth, especially when embraced rather than resisted. Solitude as a space for reflection and self-understanding. Spending time alone gives us the chance to examine our beliefs, priorities, and motivations. Many people are driven by societal expectations or influenced by external pressures, often without realizing it. Solitude creates a gap between us and these influences, allowing us to identify what truly matters to us. This process of self-inquiry can foster a greater sense of authenticity and purpose. Steve Jobs, for example, was known to retreat into solitude, especially during pivotal moments in his career. He took long walks alone as part of his thinking process, which helped him develop a clear vision for Apple. By removing himself from the noise of his industry and company, Jobs was able to connect deeply with his creative instincts and focus on innovation. This intentional solitude was crucial for his creative thinking, demonstrating that taking time alone can spark insights that transform industries and change the world. Creativity and solitude. Solitude is also an incubator for creativity. Artists, writers, and thinkers have long attested to the idea that some of their best ideas came to them during moments of quiet reflection. The mind, free from distractions, can wander, make new connections, and explore ideas that might not emerge in a more crowded or noisy setting. The writer J.K. Rowling, for instance, conceived the idea for the Harry Potter series while alone on a delayed train. This moment of solitude allowed her imagination to roam freely, leading to the creation of one of the most beloved fictional worlds in modern literature. Similarly, the painter Georgia O'Keeffe often isolated herself in the New Mexico desert, finding inspiration in the quiet landscape. Her time alone with nature allowed her to explore her unique artistic vision, unhindered by others' expectations or trends in the art world. Solitude, then, doesn't only facilitate self-discovery, it can also unlock a wellspring of creativity. By setting aside time to be alone, we can give our minds the freedom to roam, create, and innovate, building resilience through solitude. Solitude can be a source of strength, teaching us to rely on ourselves rather than external validation. When we spend time alone, we learn to confront and process our emotions without turning to others for reassurance. This self-reliance fosters resilience, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with greater confidence and independence. Oprah Winfrey has spoken about the role solitude has played in her own life, especially as a public figure constantly in the spotlight. Oprah values her time alone, viewing it as essential for maintaining her sense of self amid fame's pressures. This intentional solitude has allowed her to process her experiences, reflect on her journey, and remain grounded despite her success. For Oprah, solitude has been a sanctuary for self-reflection, helping her develop the resilience necessary to navigate both personal and professional challenges. The capacity to be alone and find peace within ourselves is a skill that can serve us in all aspects of life. Those who embrace solitude often develop an inner strength that makes them less susceptible to the ups and downs of public opinion or external validation, ultimately leading to a greater sense of stability. How to embrace solitude for growth. Embracing solitude doesn't mean isolating oneself or avoiding social interaction. Rather, it involves carving out intentional time to be alone. Here are a few practical ways to cultivate solitude in daily life. Daily moments of quiet. Even a few minutes of intentional solitude each day can make a difference. Start by setting aside time in the morning or evening for quiet reflection or meditation. This can serve as a reset, helping you focus on your goals and connect with your inner self. Digital detox. Solitude is often interrupted by technology and social media, which flood our minds with information and other people's lives. Turning off devices for designated periods allows us to experience true solitude, free from constant updates, notifications, and the pressures of comparison. Nature walks. Spending time alone in nature can be a particularly powerful form of solitude. Nature offers a calming, neutral space that encourages reflection and clarity. Figures like Henry David Thoreau famously found inspiration in nature, and many modern leaders continue to seek it as a retreat for mental and emotional renewal. Journaling. Writing in a journal can be a form of structured solitude, allowing us to process our thoughts and experiences. This practice encourages self-reflection and can reveal patterns, values, and desires that might otherwise remain hidden. Creating art or engaging in a hobby. Solitude is also a great time to explore personal interests or creative pursuits. These activities can become meditative, helping us focus inward and build skills or habits that bring us fulfillment. Debunking myths about solitude. A common misconception about solitude is that it's synonymous with loneliness. While loneliness is a negative emotional state associated with isolation, solitude is a positive, intentional choice. Loneliness is the absence of connection, while solitude is the presence of self. Embracing solitude doesn't mean cutting oneself off from others. Rather, it means valuing time alone as much as social interaction. Another myth is that solitude is selfish or antisocial. However, individuals who spend time in solitude often have more to offer in their relationships. They're more grounded, self-aware, and emotionally balanced, which can lead to healthier, more meaningful connections with others. Embracing solitude as a journey to self-mastery. In a society that often equates business with productivity, solitude is sometimes seen as a luxury, but in reality, it's essential for personal growth. By embracing solitude, we learn to listen to our inner voice, understand our values, and connect with our passions. This journey can be transformative, leading to a deeper understanding of ourselves and a greater sense of purpose. The stories of individuals like Nelson Mandela, Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, J.K. Rowling, and Georgia O'Keeffe illustrate that solitude can be a powerful catalyst for growth and creativity. When we choose to embrace time alone, we open ourselves to possibilities that might never surface in the rush of daily life. Ultimately, solitude is a journey inward, one that can lead to profound self-discovery, resilience, and an unshakable foundation for growth. Valuing self-approval over external validation. In a world driven by social media, public personas, and constant comparisons, it's easy to become entangled in seeking validation from others. However, the path to genuine contentment lies in cultivating self-approval over external validation. Choosing self-approval means recognizing and valuing your worth without relying on the acknowledgement of others. This approach is a hallmark of many successful, resilient individuals who prioritize personal fulfillment over fleeting external praise. By focusing on inner satisfaction and self-acceptance, we not only achieve a stronger sense of identity but also a deeper and more sustainable happiness. Understanding the roots of external validation. External validation is a natural human desire that stems from our need to feel accepted and valued within a group. This desire has evolutionary roots. Early humans depended on their communities for survival. and being accepted by others often meant safety and resources. However, in modern times, external validation has become exaggerated. Social media amplifies this by providing instant feedback in the form of likes, comments, and shares. These virtual forms of approval can become addictive, encouraging us to pursue validation for its own sake rather than focusing on what truly brings us satisfaction. Celebrities and influential figures often find themselves trapped in this cycle, as public opinion constantly shifts, leading them to chase trends to maintain popularity. However, those who are able to detach from this need for approval are usually the ones who make a lasting impact. For instance, pop icon Lady Gaga has openly discussed her struggles with fame and the toll that seeking validation took on her mental health. In recent years, she has focused on self-acceptance and authenticity, expressing a commitment to her art and values rather than conforming to public expectations. By choosing self-approval, Gaga has been able to find a balance between her public image and personal well-being. Why self-approval matters. Relying solely on external validation can lead to a sense of emptiness. When our self-worth is defined by others' opinions, it becomes fragile, fluctuating with every positive or negative comment. Self-approval, on the other hand, fosters a sense of inner stability. It allows us to build confidence based on our own principles and goals, rather than others' perceptions. This stability becomes a foundation for resilience, helping us stay grounded even when facing criticism or adversity. Consider Oprah Winfrey, whose journey to self-approval has been well documented. Despite coming from a difficult background, Oprah overcame numerous obstacles by believing in her own worth and potential. Her commitment to self-approval, rather than seeking affirmation from others, allowed her to create a career defined by authenticity and a genuine connection with her audience. By prioritizing self-approval, she was able to make career choices that aligned with her values, leading to her success as a media mogul and philanthropist. The dangers of chasing external validation. When we prioritize others' approval over our own values, we risk losing ourselves in the process. People who constantly seek validation may alter their behavior, beliefs, or appearance to fit others' expectations. This can lead to an identity crisis, as they become unsure of who they really are without external input. It also encourages inauthenticity, as people put on a facade to gain approval, often at the expense of their true selves. An example of this is found in the tech world with Elon Musk. Musk, despite his fame, has remained notoriously indifferent to public opinion. While he's undoubtedly a polarizing figure, his dedication to ambitious projects like SpaceX, Tesla, and more recently, Neuralink demonstrates a focus on his own vision rather than on others' approval. His willingness to make controversial decisions and endure criticism highlights the power of self-approval. Musk's achievements have come not from pleasing others, but from staying true to his own goals and daring to pursue ideas others deemed impossible. Building a foundation of self-approval. Shifting from external validation to self-approval is challenging, especially when we're surrounded by societal pressures. However, building self-approval involves several key steps that help cultivate a healthy sense of self-worth. Setting personal standards. The first step to valuing self-approval is identifying what truly matters to you. This involves setting your own standards for success, happiness, and fulfillment. By focusing on your own values, you're able to measure your achievements by your own criteria, not others. For instance, the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg, former Associate Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, was known for her unshakable commitment to her values. Ginsburg dedicated her life to fighting for gender equality and justice, often facing criticism for her views. However, she measured her success not by public opinion, but by her dedication to her principles. Her career serves as a reminder that when we align our actions with our own standards, we create a legacy rooted in authenticity. Practicing self-compassion. Self-approval doesn't mean holding yourself to impossible standards. It involves accepting that mistakes and imperfections are part of growth. Practicing self-compassion allows us to be gentle with ourselves, to learn from failures rather than being derailed by them. Michelle Obama, former First Lady of the United States, is an advocate for self-compassion. In her memoir, Becoming, she discusses her journey toward self-acceptance and the importance of being kind to oneself. By focusing on her own growth and well-being, she has been able to maintain a strong sense of identity amid intense public scrutiny. Self-compassion allows us to prioritize self-approval, recognizing that our worth isn't tied to perfection. Mindfulness and self-reflection, regularly reflecting on your goals, values, and emotions can help reinforce self-approval. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation, journaling, or simply taking time to be present, can foster self-awareness and reinforce our intrinsic worth. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, has often spoken about his practice of regret minimization. By regularly reflecting on his decisions, Bezos focuses on making choices that align with his long-term goals rather than short-term approval. His commitment to self-reflection has enabled him to build a groundbreaking company and make bold career choices. Mindfulness and self-reflection help us stay connected to our own values, which is essential for self-approval. Letting go of comparisons. A significant obstacle to self-approval is the tendency to compare ourselves to others. Social media and societal expectations amplify this, making it easy to measure ourselves against the accomplishments, lifestyles, or appearances of others. However, comparisons are often misleading and fail to consider the unique paths each person is on. Instead of comparing ourselves, it's beneficial to celebrate our own progress and strengths. Consider former President Barack Obama, who has frequently emphasized the importance of staying focused on personal goals rather than being sidetracked by others' expectations. By staying true to his values and refusing to let comparisons define him, Obama has been able to lead with integrity and authenticity. Letting go of comparisons allows us to cultivate a sense of self-approval, freeing us from the need to compete or prove our worth. The benefits of self-approval. When we prioritize self-approval, we become more resilient, self-reliant, and authentic. This inner stability enables us to make choices that align with our goals, rather than being swayed by popular opinion or temporary praise. It also fosters a deeper sense of happiness, as we no longer feel compelled to seek others' validation. Moreover, people who value self-approval often inspire others through their confidence and authenticity. Leaders who are guided by their own principles, rather than by external validation, tend to have a lasting impact. Their inner fulfillment and clarity allow them to contribute meaningfully to their communities, workplaces, and the world at large, creating a culture of self-approval. Valuing self-approval over external validation doesn't only benefit individuals, it can also lead to healthier relationships and communities. When we're secure in ourselves, we're less likely to seek approval from others, allowing us to form genuine connections based on mutual respect. We're able to offer support without expecting something in return, leading to more authentic and meaningful relationships. In essence, valuing self-approval over external validation is a journey toward personal freedom. It allows us to reclaim our sense of worth, pursue our goals, and live a life defined by our own standards rather than others' expectations. This shift is powerful, transforming not only our sense of self but also our relationships and contributions to the world. Rejection as a tool for growth. Rejection is often seen as a setback, a moment of failure that stops us in our tracks. However, many successful individuals have learned that rejection is not the end of the road but rather a stepping stone to growth. Embracing rejection as a valuable learning experience can strengthen resilience, refine one's goals, and lead to greater achievements. By exploring how some of the world's most renowned figures have transformed rejection into opportunity, we can understand how to harness rejection to propel ourselves forward. Understanding the psychological impact of rejection. Rejection hits hard because it affects our sense of self-worth and can lead to self-doubt. Research in psychology has shown that the brain experiences rejection in a manner similar to physical pain, which explains why it feels so intense when we're rejected. Whether in relationships, career opportunities, or creative pursuits, it's natural to feel a range of emotions, from embarrassment to frustration. Yet, while these reactions are normal, staying trapped in them can stifle our growth. What if, instead of interpreting rejection as a personal failure, we viewed it as a valuable feedback mechanism? By adopting this mindset, we can reframe rejection as a tool for growth. Steve Jobs, for example, famously faced rejection when he was ousted from Apple, the very company he had co-founded. This could have devastated him, and for a while, it did. However, instead of giving up, Jobs used this rejection to fuel his drive, ultimately founding Next and Pixar. These experiences not only enriched his skills but also set the stage for his eventual return to Apple, where he would lead the company to unprecedented success. Building resilience through rejection. One of the most powerful ways rejection can contribute to growth is by building resilience. Resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity, is a critical trait for anyone aiming to achieve lasting success. When we face rejection repeatedly, it can toughen our mental fortitude, teaching us to persevere despite setbacks. J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter series, is a notable example of resilience in the face of rejection. Rowling's manuscript was famously rejected by 12 publishers before finally being accepted. Had she given up after the first few rejections, the world would never have experienced the magic of her stories. Rowling's persistence and resilience transformed each rejection into motivation to keep going, resulting in a billion-dollar franchise. Her journey shows that by embracing rejection, we can develop the resilience needed to pursue our goals relentlessly. Rejection as a tool for self-reflection. Rejection provides an opportunity to pause and reflect on our goals, strengths, and areas for improvement. Each rejection can offer valuable insights into what we might need to adjust, whether in our approach, skills, or mindset. Sometimes, rejection is a signal that we're not yet fully prepared or that there are areas we haven't considered. By reflecting on the feedback that rejection provides, we can gain a clearer understanding of what it takes to succeed. Consider former U.S. President Abraham Lincoln, whose life was filled with personal and professional rejections. Before becoming president, Lincoln faced numerous political defeats and personal losses. Instead of allowing these rejections to deter him, he used them as opportunities for introspection and growth. These experiences helped him develop the empathy, resilience, and leadership qualities that would later define his presidency. Lincoln's story illustrates how self-reflection in the face of rejection can lead to greater clarity and purpose. Redefining rejection as redirection. Sometimes, rejection isn't a no so much as a not here or not yet. When viewed this way, rejection can be seen as redirection, guiding us toward opportunities better suited to our strengths or long-term aspirations. What might feel like a door closing could be redirecting us to an open window we hadn't noticed before. In this sense, rejection can be a form of protection, steering us away from paths that may not ultimately serve us well. Oprah Winfrey's career is a prime example of rejection as redirection. Early in her career, Oprah was fired from her job as a news anchor because she was deemed unfit for television. This rejection redirected her toward a career in talk shows, where her empathetic approach and authentic personality resonated with millions. Had she not faced this initial setback, Oprah might never have discovered her true calling. By viewing rejection as redirection, we can trust that setbacks may actually be moving us closer to the right path. Strengthening self-confidence through rejection. Ironically, facing rejection can also help us build self-confidence. When we confront rejection head-on, we're forced to rely on our internal sense of worth rather than external validation. This strengthens our self-belief and reminds us that our value isn't determined by others' approval. Walt Disney, the visionary behind Disneyland and countless beloved films, faced countless rejections and financial struggles early in his career. One of his most notable rejections came from a newspaper editor who told him he lacked imagination. Rather than letting this criticism diminish his confidence, Disney used it to fuel his ambitions. His unwavering belief in his ideas eventually led to the creation of one of the most influential entertainment empires in history. Disney's story highlights that rejection can serve as a test of our confidence, challenging us to hold firm in our vision. Using rejection as motivation for improvement. Another way rejection can facilitate growth is by motivating us to improve our skills or strategies. Rejection often provides concrete feedback, showing us where we might need to enhance our abilities. When we use this feedback constructively, we turn rejection into a powerful motivator for self-improvement. Basketball legend Michael Jordan famously faced rejection early in his athletic career. In high school, he was cut from his varsity basketball team, a rejection that could have discouraged him. Instead, Jordan took this as a challenge to improve, spending countless hours practicing and honing his skills. His commitment to growth paid off, as he went on to become one of the greatest athletes of all time. Jordan's story shows that rejection can be a catalyst for development, pushing us to reach new heights. Embracing rejection as part of the process. Finally, accepting rejection as an inevitable part of the journey helps normalize the experience and reduce its emotional sting. When we expect and accept rejection, we're less likely to see it as a catastrophic event and more as a natural stepping stone toward our goals. This mindset shift allows us to face rejection with a sense of openness and curiosity, viewing each setback as a small part of a larger process. Inventor Thomas Edison embodies this acceptance of rejection. Edison reportedly failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb. Rather than seeing each failure as a setback, he famously remarked, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." By embracing rejection as part of the process, Edison was able to approach his work with persistence and optimism, ultimately achieving groundbreaking success. Practical steps to embrace rejection for growth. To use rejection as a tool for growth, it's essential to approach each setback with the right mindset. Here are a few strategies that can help. Reframe the experience. When facing rejection, try to reframe it as an opportunity to learn rather than a sign of failure. This helps you focus on the potential for growth rather than dwelling on the setback. Seek feedback, when appropriate. Ask for feedback to understand the reasons behind the rejection. This can provide valuable insights that help you improve and refine your approach. Reflect on your goals. Use rejection as a chance to revisit and refine your goals. Sometimes, rejection can clarify what you truly want and help you align your efforts with your long-term vision. Develop resilience. Cultivate resilience by practicing self-compassion and embracing a growth mindset. Remind yourself that rejection is a natural part of the journey and that each setback brings you closer to success. Focus on the bigger picture. Remember that rejection is just one moment in the broader context of your life and career. Keeping this perspective can help you stay motivated and focused on your ultimate goals. Rejection, while uncomfortable, is an essential element of personal and professional growth. By viewing rejection as an opportunity to build resilience, refine our goals, and strengthen self-confidence, we transform setbacks into powerful tools for success. Embracing rejection not only builds character but also opens doors to new opportunities and achievements that might otherwise have remained hidden. Liberating yourself from the fear of judgment. The fear of judgment is a powerful barrier that limits many people from reaching their full potential. Whether it's in the workplace, in personal relationships, or in creative pursuits, this fear often causes individuals to censor themselves, avoid risks, and ultimately, sacrifice their own happiness. By understanding why we fear judgment and learning how to overcome it, we can unlock new levels of confidence and freedom in our lives. Many well-known figures have had to confront the fear of judgment head-on to achieve greatness, demonstrating that liberation from this fear is essential to reaching personal fulfillment and success. Understanding why we fear judgment. The fear of judgment originates from our deep-rooted need for social acceptance. Historically, humans depended on group belonging for survival. To be ostracized was to face significant risk alone. This evolutionary need for acceptance has created a strong desire to fit in. And as a result, we often fear the potential criticism, disapproval, or rejection of others. Today, while survival doesn't hinge on group acceptance, the mind still views social rejection as a form of danger, triggering anxiety and insecurity. Psychologically, the fear of judgment is often tied to self-worth. People tend to measure their value based on how others perceive them. When we believe that others view us as competent, attractive, or successful, our self-esteem gets a boost. Conversely, if we feel judged or rejected, our confidence can take a significant hit. This link between external validation and self-worth makes many of us highly sensitive to the judgments of others. Unfortunately, this sensitivity often leads to self-censorship, with people holding back on expressing their true selves or pursuing their authentic goals to avoid negative reactions from others. Real-world examples of overcoming judgment. Many highly successful figures have faced intense judgment, learning to disregard public opinion to stay true to their paths. Consider Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, whose bold ideas and unconventional leadership style initially drew skepticism and criticism. Jobs was known for his intense focus on product quality and innovation, often pushing his teams to extraordinary lengths. His vision of sleek, user-friendly technology was initially met with doubt, as some industry experts believed people would not prioritize design in their tech products. However, Jobs disregarded the naysayers, staying committed to his vision. By not allowing the fear of judgment to derail his plans, he went on to create one of the world's most iconic brands. His story exemplifies the power of resilience in the face of judgment and the impact of staying true to one's beliefs. Another notable example is J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before her success, Rowling faced numerous rejections from publishers who doubted her book's appeal, believing it was too complex for young readers. Despite facing personal hardships, including financial struggles and being a single mother, she persisted. Rowling could have let the judgment and rejection deter her, but her commitment to her story ultimately led her to become one of the most successful authors of all time. Her experience illustrates that perseverance in the face of judgment can lead to extraordinary outcomes. How the fear of judgment restricts personal freedom. The fear of judgment can limit freedom by causing individuals to seek validation from others instead of trusting their own desires and instincts. This constant need for approval means people may shape their actions, decisions, and even personalities around the expectations of others, sacrificing authenticity. For instance, someone might stay in a high-paying yet unfulfilling job to avoid disappointing family members who value financial success. This leads to inner conflict, as people are unable to align their actions with their genuine interests and passions. Over time, the suppression of one's true self can lead to dissatisfaction, frustration, and even resentment. The fear of judgment also restricts creativity and innovation. When people are afraid of criticism, they are less likely to take risks, experiment, or think outside the box. For example, an artist may avoid creating unconventional work because they fear it won't be well received by critics or fans. This self-imposed censorship stifles growth and prevents the individual from exploring their full creative potential. In this way, the fear of judgment not only limits personal freedom but also hinders societal progress, as fewer people feel empowered to push boundaries and challenge norms. Steps to liberate yourself from the fear of judgment. Shift your focus to internal validation. To overcome the fear of judgment, It's essential to stop relying solely on external validation and start cultivating a sense of self-approval. Internal validation means valuing your own opinion of yourself over the opinions of others. One practical way to build this skill is through self-reflection. Regularly assess your decisions and actions based on your own values, goals, and standards, rather than those imposed by society or your social circles. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it's meaningful to me, or because I want others to approve? This question helps redirect focus from external judgment to personal fulfillment. Develop self-compassion. Being kind to oneself is critical when dealing with judgment. Often, the fear of judgment is linked to harsh self-criticism. We are afraid others will see us as we sometimes see ourselves. Practicing self-compassion involves treating yourself with kindness and understanding, even when you make mistakes or face criticism. Rather than viewing errors as proof of inadequacy, try to see them as part of the growth process. Self-compassion allows you to stay resilient in the face of judgment, making it easier to bounce back from setbacks. Challenge negative thoughts. Many times, our fear of judgment is based on assumptions rather than reality. We imagine that others are constantly evaluating us when, in reality, most people are too focused on their own lives to scrutinize ours. By questioning these thoughts, you can start to dismantle the irrational fears associated with judgment. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "Everyone will think I'm a failure if I leave my job," challenge that thought. Ask yourself, is this really true, and how do I know what others think? By identifying and questioning these assumptions, you reduce the power they hold over you. Expose yourself to judgment gradually. A powerful way to overcome the fear of judgment is through gradual exposure. Start by putting yourself in low-risk situations where you may face some judgment, but the consequences are minimal. For instance, if you fear public speaking, start by speaking up in small meetings or groups. With time, as you gain confidence, you can tackle more significant challenges. Each experience helps desensitize you to judgment, proving that criticism, while uncomfortable, is rarely as devastating as it may feel in the moment. Surround yourself with supportive people. Having a positive support network can make a significant difference when dealing with judgment. Surround yourself with people who respect you for who you are, who encourage you to pursue your passions, and who provide constructive feedback rather than harsh criticism. Supportive friends and mentors can reinforce your sense of self-worth, making it easier to ignore negative judgments from others. Moreover, they remind you that acceptance and encouragement are available, even when faced with external disapproval. Embracing authenticity over approval. Liberating yourself from the fear of judgment ultimately allows you to live more authentically. When you no longer feel the need to conform to others' expectations, you become free to pursue what truly makes you happy. This authenticity can be seen in figures like Michelle Obama, who has often spoken openly about her experiences and challenges as a First Lady. Despite the scrutiny associated with her role, Obama maintained her voice and advocated for causes she was passionate about. From education to health, her authenticity resonated with millions worldwide, showing that staying true to oneself can inspire others far more than conforming to expectations ever could. Liberating oneself from the fear of judgment is a journey, requiring time, patience, and self-awareness. But as countless leaders, creators, and innovators have shown, this freedom is not only possible but transformative. It allows individuals to live courageously, to take risks, and to create meaningful, fulfilling lives aligned with their deepest values. We've journeyed through 10 powerful Buddhist teachings today, each one offering a path to deeper inner peace and resilience. These teachings remind us that true happiness comes from within, not from the fleeting validation or judgments of others. Buddhism encourages us to focus on our own path, building strength from solitude, and finding contentment in simply being true to ourselves. Imagine living a life where rejection doesn't feel like a setback, but a lesson, where solitude becomes a sanctuary rather than a source of loneliness, and where your self-worth is defined by your own values, not by what others think. As we close, take a moment to consider the freedom that comes from letting go of external judgment. Think of the countless opportunities to grow and thrive once you realize that your worth isn't defined by anyone else's opinion. Thank you for watching and joining us on this exploration of Buddhist wisdom. If these insights have resonated with you, remember to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments below. Together, we can continue this journey toward a more peaceful, fulfilling life, grounded in the teachings that have helped millions to find true, lasting happiness. Until next time, may you find strength in your solitude, peace within, and the courage to walk your own path.